I just got bad news. It looks like Chuck Norris has died. The news just broke while we were talking about Japan. He's a friend of mine. We've known each other for the longest time. He was one of the most giving men I have ever met, and completely normal. Completely normal. Here's a guy who is known all over the world, is a megastar. Everywhere he goes, everyone loves him. And he was Chuck. He was just a normal guy who dedicated himself to making the lives of children better. He knew that the discipline of martial arts would change people. And he started a program here in Texas, in some of the harder hit areas in Texas, where kids didn't have dads. They were falling into drugs and everything else. And so he started his Kickstart program, and it changed kids. My son was really struggling when he was younger. And we were over at Chuck and Gina's house, and we stayed overnight. And the next morning, I see him and my son walking outside. He said, "I'm sending somebody to your house because I see greatness in you, and I know you're struggling. I'm sending somebody to your house to get you started on your black belt. Because once you learn this discipline, everything will change in your life." And it wasn't because it was my son or me. That's the way he was with everyone's son or daughter. I can't tell you I have met a bigger star than Chuck Norris, a man who has accomplished more in his life than Chuck Norris, and a more regular guy than Chuck Norris. A lot of that had to do with his wife, Gina. And I would ask that you pray for Gina. She was a titan. Everybody's like, Chuck Norris, you can't hurt Chuck Norris. You know why you can't hurt Chuck Norris? Gina will punch you in the face if you come after her husband. She's an amazing woman, and the two of them together were dynamo, an absolute dynamo. And he has left more than jokes on how tough he is behind. He has left a legacy of good and strong young men and women. So our thoughts are with Gina Norris and the family on the passing of Chuck Norris. Ricky just told me she just saw.
Oh, yeah. The memes are coming in. You guys know the memes about Chuck. He doesn't sleep. He waits. When he doesn't swim, when he swims, he doesn't get wet. There was one that just replied to the post about him passing, and they said, Chuck Norris doesn't die. He left to beat up the Grim Reaper.
Do you know the story behind those jokes?
No, tell me.
I'm sitting there and we were telling Chuck Norris jokes with him about his favorites and everything else. And I said, how did this happen? And he said, Gina comes in one day, and he said, there are these jokes that they're seeing. And I think it was even before the internet. I don't remember. But they see these jokes going around. And she's like, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. And he's like, I think they're kind of funny, but okay. And their son, Gina, is talking to their son, and she said, this got to stop. He said, Mom, this makes Dad more popular than ever. She's like, really? They had no idea, but somebody had started it, and it just went on and made him really into much bigger of a legend than he ever was. Okay, I've got to play this. This is Donald Trump yesterday with the Prime Minister of Japan, and a Japanese reporter said, why didn't you tell your allies? Why didn't you tell Japan before the war? Listen to what he said.
Of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends, but one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right?
Oh my gosh.
He's asking me.
Tell me.
Now you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us, and we had to surprise him, and we did.
Okay. Let's joke with the people of Japan.
I think enough time has passed.
I think the statute of limitations. It's like making an Abraham Lincoln assassination joke. I think we're there. You know, I think we can do it. You know, like John F. Kennedy. What was on his mind? I don't know. His mind was probably on the trunk of the car. You know, that kind of stuff. I think we're past the statute of limitations. We can make horrible jokes. It's not polite. I shouldn't have made that joke. I know. I'm going to burn in hell for it. Baby Jesus, let me smell your sweet hay of the manger again. But I think we can get over it. But no, what president does that? What president does that?
The greatest president of all time.
I mean, he is just, if you don't find him funny, if you don't get that he is trolling almost all the time, you've missed a sweet, sweet, fun ride.
He's improving network ratings with stuff like this. And Melissa Chen, brilliant woman, you should follow her on X, MS Mel Chen. She actually collected some of his greatest hits. Remember when he told Erdogan that he knows about rigged elections better than anybody?
Oh my gosh.
That was a good one. We had the Trump sprays the Syrian president with cologne, and he asks how many wives he has. This is this last term.
Gosh, oh my gosh.
You got that fatty North Korean guy who loves nukes. And this was I think it was during his first term. He said, so we look nice and handsome and thin. This guy, we don't deserve him.
What I love about that was all the faces of the Japanese press pool looking at each other with that, is it too soon to make that joke comment? They didn't really know. Like, can we laugh too? Or I don't know. This is uncharted water.
Oh, man, I love it.